Hey, Amy.
Hey, Taylor.
I got a Famicom.
I know, it looks so excited. Oh my god. I'll tell you, she sent me a photo of this, and I was like, ah! Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's so cute.
It's so good.
It's so tiny.
I know, I love its little color scheme.
It is the original Nintendo. So Nintendo had done a couple things prior to this that were successful. They'd also had they had laid some real eggs, but the things that had worked for them were the Game & Watch, which is a little LCD handheld, but that's the first appearance of the D-pad, and they went with that.
On Earth.
In Nintendo.
Okay.
And the Donkey Kong arcade machine. So when this...
Which we may play in the future.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
So the whole raison d'etre of this machine was play Donkey Kong at home. Mm-hmm. A couple things happened during the manufacturing period of that. One was the only manufacturer for cheap CPUs that they could get was Ryko, and Ryko was not going to make them Z80s, which is what was in Donkey Kong. They were only going to make them 6502s. Fun fact, it is believed today that they did not have a license to make the 6502 for MOS technology.
I still can't believe it.
And all they had done was take the die of the 6502 and cut the traces on the part that did like decimal arithmetic or something, which was enough to get around the patent laws of the time.
Apparently,
it wouldn't be later.
Because it did.
So, Nintendo did not have anybody that knew 6502. All their guys were Z80. They're brilliant engineers. They'll figure it out. They did. But they couldn't reuse any code from the Donkey Kong arcade machine to do it. Anyway, when it comes to market in 1983, it has Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., and Popeye, which is ironic because Donkey Kong was originally going to be Popeye, and they couldn't get the license, and then they did, and they made a different Popeye game. By the end of its run, it is in 1 out of 4 Japanese households.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
I'm huge in Japan. This is where that phrase came.
So Ryko was desperate to find a customer that needed a ton of chips because they had only been running at like 10% capacity, which is a recipe for closing your business. Mm-hmm. And Nintendo was desperate to find a manufacturer that could make them really cheap CPUs, and that was the deal that was struck. Nintendo said these need to be $9 a piece, and Ryko said if it's going to be that cheap, you're going to need to order 1 million of them, and Nintendo said
Done.
Make it so. Yeah.
Done. And we'll need more.
Now, this is modified, I will tell you. Because so many were made, you kind of have a lot of choices when you're searching for these to buy. And I got one that already has an AV mod in it.
Which is nice.
Instead of the RF out. It still says RF out, but it's an AV mod. So we won't have to do that.
One of the few things we don't have to do that for.
I have no idea what this game is.
There's already more English than I would expect.
Hello. The second controller came with a microphone which allowed Japanese children to hear themselves talking through their TVs. This had never happened before, and they were super excited about it.
I'm a little excited about it myself. Thank you. I didn't know that was going to happen.
I know. All right. Oh, we died. Okay. Here's the thing.
Oh, and the cord comes out the side. That's kind of...
It's so that when it's in the slots, it goes out the back.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It makes sense when it's
cord
parked.
management. Yeah. People talk about that, and while some people find it in the way, other people just...
Yeah, and that's what I'm about to do.
Yeah. We are not going to play this game.
Yeah.
We are going to...
the gold and maroon. I just love it.
I love it.
I love it.
Now, the original controllers, the original, very, very first generation, it had square buttons that were the same squishiness of the start and select. They would get caught, and there was also some sort of motherboard problem that caused... So Nintendo did a voluntary recall right after this came out. And that is always a terrifying moment for a company because that could be the end of it, right?
That's true.
But it actually bought a lot of goodwill.
I wasn't-
People thought, you know, because they got a free replacement in the mail. The problem with the chip had been solved, and when the replacement came, these buttons were now the solid plastic and circular, so they never got caught and they didn't disintegrate on you. The difference in this era, in the 80s, between a game system and a computer is essentially marketing.
Right. It's superficial.
The insides are going to be the same. Of all the computers in this lab, all of them,
And there are quite a few,
take cartridge games, you know? They might have other software, productivity software, they might have other peripherals, but really the only form factor difference is the keyboard. If it comes with a keyboard, they market it
as a
computer. Although the Atari was the video computer system, and this is the family computer.
Famicom.
And there was nothing stopping them from making peripherals that would make it function as a computer because it is a computer on the inside.
Because that's what it is.
And Nintendo did. Drum roll, please. Yeah, just go ahead and stop the camera.
Ta-da!
Nintendo made a keyboard!
That's freaking awesome. Look at that thing.
It's fantastic!
What's that called? Katakana?
Uh-huh.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, well...
That?
Yes, it's katakana. It's tiny, but I have tiny hands.
You do, I do not. You'll be
Hand comparison.
Oh. We're both the same species. I swear.
Somehow. So this guy connects to this little 15-pin connector in the front.
Look at that monster.
And with it, check out the ejection.
Whoa!
Came
So satisfying.
Family Basic. So this is essentially, make it focus on the Family Basic. There we go.
Family Basic.
So this is essentially the same thing that we had played with the Atari, where they were like, you know, this is a computer. We might as well come out with a basic cartridge and
That was
sell them a keyboard.
Quite awkward on the Atari.
This is the other end of the spectrum.
And like a whole full keyboard.
Because this thing is epic. That is not it. Hang on. This will go on forever. Listen to the computery sounds.
That's awesome! Whoa, I don't know. I can't read that. Love these sounds.
I do too. I don't speak Japanese though.
Not much, no. Yeah, like the 3 words of Japanese I know, I definitely don't know how to write them. It knows who we are!
Okay, he's just gonna ask us, do you want to go into basic? And we're gonna say yes this time, which is obviously F1.
Seems excited. Yeah, basic! Is it? Ah, okay.
And now, it's based on Microsoft Basic. It's Hue Basic, which is Hudson Soft.
Okay.
Nope.
The A!
Okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a little bit more advanced than us pressing doodads on the Atari.
Hi! It's doing it on a Nintendo.
That's great. Hello, world!
Okay,
And Bricky.
let me tell you a little bit about the Basic. Now, until a few years ago, what I'm about to do would be impossible. But what I am pulling up on my main screen here for my use is the Family Basic manual that has been translated into English.
Thank you.
That's a real big deal because, again, it's an amazing manual and I don't read Japanese. So I'm going to type in this 160-line program. That's not a lot, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
And 10. See you in 2.
I have now typed the program. We are not a lot older than when we started. This did not take very long.
No,
The typing on this is very comfortable.
Yeah. Well, we haven't tested it yet, though. So we'll see.
Well, yeah. Okay. So there's Mario.
Sprites.
And I can move him up and down and left and right with the full animation. So the whole point of Family Basic was to allow people to write their own games.
Yeah.
And so it included in its library a certain amount of sprites. Well, they're all the Nintendo sprites.
Of
It's
course.
Mario.
That's
and
genius.
it's not like Mario-ish or Mario-esque. That's
it
Nintendo's Mario.
It is Mario.
And you've got...
I want to make sure they can see. Yeah.
And you've got incredibly easy commands like move, stick, which just allows you to use the D-pad. It's sprite. You just turn the sprite on, and then you set the sprite attributes. I mean...
Yeah, because, I mean, like you said, this is 160 going by 10s lines of code.
Look at him going up and down the little ladder. Now, and then... So when we got to that intermediate screen where we had to choose 1 for basic, 2 for background basic, and 3 to end. 3 would have knocked us back out to the colorful menu. Background basic allows you to draw backgrounds, and it's Mario tiles, it's Donkey Kong tiles.
So you have access to all the proprietary... Yeah.
And then you can save that background and then go in and write your little program.
I mean, what fun for a kid to be able to play with the actual stuff.
And it's got... The reason this cartridge is twice as high as the others is because it's got 2 AA batteries in it. And you can turn it on and kind of save. I want to try something. I may have killed it.
I don't know, there's probably some fancy way to get out.
No, I think when I messed it up, I messed it up real good.
It doesn't like that.
Because it's not running anymore.
Okay.
Well, I hit stop. Usually that knocks me back out to the home page, but anyway, I was gonna change which sprite it was. But
he's so cute. This is great.
This is so great. The keyboard is perfect for people with child hands, and I mean, this is everything you wanted the Atari Basic to be, right?
Yeah.
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 Anyway, the manual is excellent. It's got so many example programs in it, and so much.
Here, in fact, I'll show it so you can go.
Let me embiggen it.
Embiggen it. So that people can get sort of. This is what we're looking at.
Basic. So sprite on. It's just that easy, and then defining sprites, and it really. Okay, I'm gonna make that stop.
Yeah, that's probably.
It's really thorough, and all of the basic commands are in English, which is helpful to me. And it just explains, CLS and new and all this stuff, and let's put Mario on the screen, and it's just that easy.
That's great.
Yeah, and there he is. Boom. And then,
yeah, thank
I don't know, it's really thorough, and
Whoever translated just thank you.
And the last many pages, there's the character tables.
So there's all the sprites you can pick from.
Uh-huh. So if I had picked a different sprite, I could have someone named Lady.
Lady!
The fighter fly, the penguin, fireball.
There's a ton.
Look at the little turtles in here.
Oh, I
Mr.
like the crab.
Turtle.
Sidestepper. Also, Mr. Crab. It says Mr. Crab underneath.
Starship. Anyway, let's see.
Explosion.
Here's the character set, and here's how you put things together to make
backgrounds.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
I would have definitely been all up in this as a kid, because I'd want to make my own backgrounds and do it just how I wanted it.
And then, obviously, it's got full Japanese language support. All these sample programs, an entire dictionary of every command, and I mean, it's just so thorough. And anyway, so that's
here. I promise we'll stop reading manuals to you, but I thought it was really well, just right now.
But the family computer is actually also a computer. Man, I would have loved this. Can you imagine getting a big gray Nintendo cartridge that was basic and a controller that was a keyboard, that would have been epic. It would not have sold here.
To us.
This was incredible.
We would have bought it.
Now,
But probably 2 isn't enough.
fun fact, there may be a way to get this to work on our NES. I'm going to play around with that, and if I get it to work,
There'll be a video.
that could happen. But in the meantime, I'm just so happy.
This is just.
They can't see what we're looking at.
Well, where'd that you get the Famicom?
That's the stuff.
Because it's gorgeous. Oh, and I zoomed in.
Help.
I was like, why is it getting bigger?
Like and subscribe.
For such amazing cinematography as displayed here on this channel.
Yes.
And please let us know what you think about the Famicom. That's what I said.
And we're going to do more Famicom content in the future when
Yeah.
the games come in.
Yeah.
Dogs are barking.
That's the dogs. For those of you who are worried that
They love the Famicom.
They do.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye t-shirt. See ya.